We interrupt your regularly scheduled Let's Play to bring you a test video where I'm recording something off a console and trying out a different kind of setup for recording the audio. That way I can get both. I can record it from both speakers, since recording it from one speaker doesn't work, because I can't flip the audio for some reason. Probably not making much sense here, but I'm tired, so it's okay. Don't need him, don't need them. Sure, let's go with that. So, since this is just a test video, it doesn't really need to be anything special, I guess, but I might as well talk about the game. This is Persona 3. I really like this game. It's pretty good. JRPG. The battle system's pretty good. The kind of high school sim social link element. The social link system is also really pretty neat. That's not really in this. Well, the battle system is, obviously. I'll get to that in a bit. I think I'll just take my team because I don't want to use Ken. Akihiko's a creeper, Junpei's not as good as the dog, and Mitsuru uses charm. Technically, Metis uses charm too, but Metis also has no elemental weaknesses and at least 3 different kinds of attacks, maybe 4. So, I guess I'll explain that later. Anyway, yeah, the social linking stuff isn't in this game. This is a kind of side story that comes in the FES version of Persona 3. And it's just kind of a little collection of dungeons that you have to go through. I guess I'll explain the battle system now. Obviously you have attack. Attacking will just... hold on. Okay, I do have... yeah, so... all of the enemies have different strengths and weaknesses. You can scan enemies to get it. I've already scanned these guys, so you can see it. Anyway, if you hit something that hit an enemy with something that they're weak against, they'll be knocked over, they'll be knocked over, and when they're knocked over, in Persona 3 anyway, when they're knocked over, their next turn will be spent getting up unless they get hit before then, in which case it kind of resets. It resets them, which is kind of stupid. I like it better in Persona 4, where if you hit them when they're down, you can stun them. But if you don't hit them when they're down, if you don't stun them, they'll just get right back up on their turn and not have to waste a turn. I like that version of it better. But anyway, yeah, here's the spells my current Persona has. Like, the main character in these games can switch between different personas, and that just changes their stats and their spells. And I'm wanting to level up Aranda right now, so I will. Speaking of leveling up, I don't know if Koromaru will be very strong. He might be kind of weak. Since I don't have any spells to use, I'll just do a regular attack. But so even you can even hit people's weaknesses with regular attacks, which is something that I like in this version of. In Persona 3 you can anyway, because in Persona 3 attacks fall under different. She can heal herself, goddammit. You can't control your party members in this game, which is kind of a bummer. They changed that for the PSP version, which is definitely a smart move. can do is you can give kind of vague commands. So I'll tell Yukari to be on heal, and Menace will... yeah, Menace will attack that thing.
Understood.
So you can kind of... you have some amount of control over them. It's just annoying. tedious. You have to go through the menus, and it's just... no one wants to do that. But anyway, different characters with different weapons will do different kinds of damage. So, Yukari, the girl with the bow, and Aegis, the character I'm controlling, the gun person, they both have projectiles, so they do pierce damage. Then Koromaru, the dog, does slash damage, and Menace does smash damage. So yeah, you can. Some enemies will be weak to different things, which is nice. I just love doing that. But anyway. Oh yeah, by the way, they summon things by shooting themselves in the head. Let's just ignore that part, because it's really weird and I don't want to talk about it. There's really not much else to say about this battle system other than, like, if at any point all of the enemies are knocked down, you get the option to do an all-out attack, which lets you cause a significant amount of damage to the enemies, which is always nice. Yeah, and she doesn't shoot herself in the head to summon her persona because she's a robot and doesn't need to do that. So, yeah. I really recommend this game to anybody who has a ridiculous amount of time on their hands. Now, admittedly, it only took a really long time for me because I was stupid and accidentally power leveled everybody. Why do I keep checking? They're not gonna change. Let's see. I guess this will be a good time to show off a couple different skills. So there's two spells in this, two different elements in this game that work significantly different than the other elements in the game. It's the light and the dark spells. They are instant death spells if they hit. They usually don't, but you know, something to keep in mind. Yeah, and there's not really much to talk about right now, other than, you know, pretty much explained everything in the battle system. Everything of any importance. I guess I should say that none of the other characters can switch personas at any point. They have their persona, they have certain skills that they get over the course of the game. Not much. Why? Just hit him.
I'll show you my defeat it.
Well, I guess I'll put in ranked again. Unless, no, I don't need Siryu anymore. Even though he's awesome and he's a giant dragon thing. But
only one enemy
I'm gonna level up things. I guess that's another thing to talk about. You can, as you can see, like, the main character gets quite a few personas. You can carry quite a few around with you at a time, and you can combine them to make new ones. That's another reason I like this game. It hits the Pokemon centers of my brain. Little stupid pun, not intended. Pokemon centers, really. By the way, I'm tired right now. I literally got no sleep last night. I got some today, well, a little bit I guess, but last night, nope. Stayed up because, well, I'm not going to go into it, but whatever. Yeah, a couple more minutes.
Please be careful.
But yeah, I'd recommend anybody who has some time who has time on their hands and a PlayStation 2, or actually no, if you have a PSP and are looking for a reason to dig it out again. Actually, if you have a PSP, you will probably already have the PSP version of Persona 3, since that's one of the better things on the system, really. The PSP version is definitely a good idea because you can actually control your party members, which would make the battles significantly easier and probably make the game a little less time-consuming. But yeah, even by JRPG standards, this game is pretty long. It's not. Now, not everybody's going to spend almost 200 hours on it like I did, because not everyone's going to power level their characters on the off chance that the boss is going to be really, really hard, which not so much. Then again, I mean, I power leveled my guy, so maybe the final boss was hard. It did have like 6 different forms, so. Actually, I guess there is one thing. Like, this isn't explaining anything about the game or anything, but I just feel the need to comment on this. There is this game, but the Persona games are part of a series of games called the Shin Megami Tensei games. They're called Shin Megami Tensei. I haven't played very many of them other than, you know, the Persona games. I've only beaten the Persona games. But the one other Shin Megami Tensei game of note that I've played is a game called Digital Devil Saga, which I was told was one of the, which I had heard was one of the better Shin Megami Tensei games. It was kind of grindy, and just people who weren't really into JRPGs would probably hate that game with a passion. And it's really irritating because a lot of the hardcore Shin Megami Tensei fans tend to really hate the Persona games, and I don't understand. They don't think the game should get any attention. They don't think the game should get any sequels. Like, they're probably having a hissy fit now that Persona 5 was announced, and the Persona 4 fighting game, and a remake of Persona 4. They're probably all complaining because why are these games getting attention when all the other Shin Megami Tensei games aren't? Where are all of those? Take a hint, guys. Those games are very. There's the all-out attack. It's just, you actually got to see it, hooray! But the other Shin Megami Tensei games, so far as I have seen, are very. If you're not a hardcore JRPG person, you're not going to like them. Those games target a specific audience, and that series needs the Persona games for the simple fact that nobody except the people who are already huge, ridiculous fans of the series even care about the series, except for the Persona games. Those are the games that are interesting to people who generally don't like JRPGs, and all the other Shin Megami Tensei games kind of put people off because of how, I don't want to say generic because that's not quite right, but everything that people who don't like JRPGs complain about is pretty much a staple of the Shin Megami Tensei games that I have played. Like, anyway, I think it's stupid that people complain about these games, despite the fact that they are the only games getting any significant amount of good press for that series. Like, they are the reason people still know what the Shin Megami Tensei series is, at least people who aren't big JRPG fans. Anyway, I am almost at the 15-minute mark, so I gotta stop. Yay, Koromaru! He's awesome. He's a dog with a knife who casts death magic and fire. Yay.